I want to introduce a good friend, Jeff Wendle. You may or may not know Jeff, but I love Jeff. There's nothing to not love about Jeff. He's just an awesome guy. So what I wanted to do, just in case you would happen to forget Jeff's name, I have a name tag right here, so I made one for Jeff. So we're gonna throw that there, and that's a keepsake. You can take that with you.
Thank you, buddy.
After the show. So, yeah. No, seriously,
that's
thanks.
Cool. Oh, you're saying keep this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's just a little memento.
That's perfect. I love it. I'm excited. I'm gonna put it in my own workspace.
Is he really excited though?
You never know.
I kind of gave you a little bit of an introduction, but who is Jeff?
I'm a pretty old guy, so that'd be a long story. I work for myself, make music, have a sister, have a girlfriend, friends. You're one. One of my closest buddies. That's it, man. There's not too much.
I know we talked before. I think it's crazy that we were both kind of in the same scene back in like early 2000s musically.
Yeah.
But we never like ran into each other.
Yeah, that is really crazy. I can't believe that. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Right.
Just always on the opposite side of the room, apparently.
Yeah. And then doing that music video shoot in Myrtle.
Yeah.
Was when we really first met.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I had no idea, and then we did that. I was like, oh yeah, cool guy.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy saying, I got this friend of mine, he's going to make the video.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that video still. It turned out awesome. Yeah.
I have some critiques with
Oh,
it.
well, yeah, it's your work. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, that turned out great, though. I love that one.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Very cool.
So, I mean, take us through maybe your musical journey, where you started, what sparked your interest.
I just grew up, around campfire with my family and my family friends and things. I think from that, just kind of a bunch of hippies around a campfire, and I was learning songs as a kid. Then just started wanting to have bands. Wanted to play in bands.
What was your first band?
My first band I want to say we were called Fallback, and I don't know if I could even drive yet. So, but it was cool. Yeah, just everybody I knew that played. We probably had a band together at some point. Mm-hmm. Really not much has changed. It's pretty much the same exact thing going on now.
Yeah.
Ran into Jimmy eventually. Like a Movie was, we went by Dropout High for a while, but then we did change the name to Like a Movie. That was a good time period, a lot of fun. Touring, playing great gigs and things like that. Never really went all the way over the edge, but just it was burning hot, and that was fun. Mm-hmm. And then ended up moving to Pittsburgh. Got with the guys in The Composure, which is awesome. Love that band. Some of my favorite times ever. Just playing. The playing was like I loved playing. The practices were really intense and long, and everyone was like, you would kind of pretend a mic was hanging in the room, it's like holding the breath at the end of a song. Everybody like letting it breathe like that intensely, you know what I mean? Nice. So it was like really, I always loved that. Then went down to the beach with Jimmy, the New High. Played a ton of shows down there. That's so fun. You're playing a lot.
Do you kind of get burnt out from that?
Yeah, there are things, about it that aren't great, and there are things that are, That's kind of how I would put it. Definitely great to play that much.
Yeah.
We practice on nights you don't have gigs, you might have 4 gigs, or I think we've had like 6 in 4 days and stuff like that, and you still go on the other days and like try to keep your game up because there's so much competition. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that's it, man. Then I moved home, and just been putting stuff out for fun, really. Mm-hmm. This is a good podcast topic, maybe. I think I just did a podcast recently, and I'm pretty sure I won't listen to it. And that's no offense to anyone. I probably will not watch this or listen to this. And with putting songs out, I try to, I always call it not looking down. I don't really like to, look down. Mm-hmm. I like to just go along. And really good news, stay calm about, and really bad news, stay calm about, and
so you're just trying to keep more of a balance.
Yeah, you put just dropping a song off and then going on with your life, you know what I mean? So I don't sit there and try to obsess over everything and things like that. I'm having a better time just letting things be I don't know, let's record it and then put it out and let it just be alone, left alone,
Yeah.
Point being, I'm putting music out now. It's not that serious, you know what I mean? I'm just having a good time. I want to build songs, and have fun like we're having fun. We, make video, have fun making the song with friends. That's pretty much the end.
Yeah, it's the community. You're just kind of getting back to the roots of it, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Let me actually... I have a lot I'd like to ask about all of that. Go back to Dropout High, like a movie.
Yeah.
Was there a certain point during your career with those guys that it was something turned on and you thought, there's potential here. This might be our break. We might be the next thing. And what was that point?
As far as I'll say yes, but I would clarify that I don't think at any point that I was at least I wasn't personally this is the next thing, you know what I mean? I definitely wouldn't go quite, I don't know if it felt quite like that, but it definitely, you felt like maybe you had something in general. Not sure what or how big it may be or not be. Yeah, there were a few different moments that were really, really, really pretty special and awesome. They used to put us after some bands that were nationally way bigger because still in your small town, if you have somebody that's doing good like that, if you put them early in the night,
you lose your audience.
You might lose half of it. So that stuff like that started feeling wow, that's special. That feels special. It feels pretty nice,
Mm-hmm. I think also another nice thing about that is you get to carry the momentum and the energy from that headlining band into your set.
It was really nice. I always felt kind of almost there would be people I idolize, you know what I mean? We would do it like that, and I think it was maybe the smartest thing to do for a certain, while it was hot, for a little moment in time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that was cool. Yeah, that was one moment. And then later, we were signed and stuff. I remember we were it was a unknown. It wasn't some label everybody was trying to get on. It was just a new label, and they had a lot of financial backing. And I think that some of that stuff was that was mind-blowing because we had rehearsal space in Nashville. We it's big, awesome studio to rehearse. They're filming that. There's camera crews filming that. They film us walking out of the building for some reason. You don't know why. There's a limo waiting. They filming us driving in the limo. We go into Guitar Center and we walk out with I want to say $7,000 or $8,000 worth of stuff just on the company tab. A card with the band name that you're just swiping gas and food and they were just, believing in it and everything, and took care of us. Like, so that those moments were definitely kind of trippy too, where you're just like, oh boy, okay, I better take this really seriously,
Yeah. What age were you at that point, and do you think you were mature enough to handle that pressure?
Man, so I was...
Just with the climate of childhood stars at this point, it's a slightly different scenario, but...
No, I was grown. There was, like, in our band, there were people older than me and younger than me. But I was out of high school. I was in college, actually, at Clarion University. But then I was only there a little while, and then the things started getting crazy, like, to where you can't really even maintain a job when you travel that much and things like that,
Do you have any regrets from that? Do you ever think, like, what if? I mean, I guess you already said you just kind of, it sounds like when something's done, you just kind of move on and just let it be.
Yeah, I don't really sit and think. It was just, like, great and meant to be what it was, The only thing I can think with any band, and it applies to every band, is just the tightness of a band. The longer you ever let that run, the better, in my opinion, it's going to get. So that's pretty much it, just from a musical stance.
Mm-hmm. So the composure, then, how did you connect with them?
So just playing, honestly, with like a movie. We would play shows together all the time, so we all knew each other and things like that. Just pretty naturally, like just the way you'd think, just from a gig, you meet each other, you're playing on the same bills a lot of the time. And then there was just an opening, and a friend of mine, was actually, I think, the one leaving at the time, put a great word in for me. And just went from there. It was natural, really awesome.
So I was telling you a little bit earlier, I think that, to me, I feel Paul is a legend.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you talked a little bit about him musically and being trained, and
yeah, he knows, like,
how
all
your
his
practices
stuff.
were. It was a performance. It sounds like what you were doing.
Yeah, just take things seriously. You know what I mean? It's better for everybody. Great. And yeah, Paul's a great leader and super trained. Knows his stuff, like, really great. And you just, like, I've heard people say the phrase, you listen to who knows. Just a natural leader too, just showing everybody, like, oh, what you're trying to do is like this, and I mean that in the best way possible, because it's like, you're like, oh, you're right. That is what I'm...
Yeah.
That is what I was thinking of.
That's easiest to accept critique when it's someone you trust.
Yeah, and it's accurate. It's not in any way wrong. It's just like, yeah, well, that is... You are correct. That is exactly what I was trying to play. Thank you for helping connect it to my... my brain was trying to piece it together, and it was having a harder time. So you're just like, thanks. Great.
Now your solo stuff. What sparked your interest? What made you think, like, want to get back into music?
So I was married, lost my wife. I think through that, just having, like, a different perspective on life than I had before, and I was just, like I said, like, just, I don't want to just sit and not write and record and release things and things like that. I like to make music. When I was a kid, we used to just hang out for a weekend and record a song all weekend, and it's just like, I don't want to be in a situation where I just, like, let it go away, might not be like I'm trying to be a big star or something, but it is just, I think, like, a healthy practice. It's like a hobby that I care a lot about, and I try to keep on top of, and I just think, my everything with my wife and whatnot, and it just made me want to be like, oh, like, I'm gonna put stuff out, like, no matter if anyone likes it, if no one likes it, if it's good, if it's bad, if I hate it 2 weeks later, like, I'm just gonna start putting stuff out though, and like not waiting around, you know what I mean, for like this perfect day or this perfect scheme or this, it's just like I'm tired of it anyway. I don't even care if, like, I honestly, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate when people say that they like it, but it's just something I'm not concerned with anyway. You know what I mean? It's just for me to have fun with you, my buddy Dan, and Gory, and Steve, and whoever I record with, my friend Ben and Harrison, and everyone that's been a part of it, Andy, Dan C, just having fun with friends, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have a nice time.
Yeah.
And make some, get back to just creating for fun.
Yeah. And that, to me, I feel like that's the most genuine form of creation.
That's the best part anyway. I mean, anything you get out, is just like, it's not going to be better than that anyway. That's the whole reason you got into it, in the first place. So it's like, that's where like the magic stuff happens,
Because there's not pressure. You take off that pressure of having a customer or an audience. It's basically, because this is something I've just been learning over the past 2 months. I'm trying to ask myself before I do anything, who am I doing this for? It's like my hair. It was kind of a joke. I just decided one morning, I said, why do I try to fix my hair and make it look nice? So someone else thinks about me or like says, oh yeah, his hair looks decent. Well, I mean, who am I kidding? My hair's starting to thin. I'm getting old. It's like, you know
thick,
what?
Man, you're good.
Well, so my thought was almost a Steve Jobs approach. I'm not going to waste the time on that when I can utilize that energy and time on something more wisely. It's one of the reasons why I wear like the same hoodie all the time. I just have all black shirts. I just grab a black shirt. I just want to kind of focus my energy and time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all, man. I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What you're a sharp guy. You take care of yourself just fine.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like the creation, that I think that allows more time for you to put the effort into, what you're doing and focus your emotion and energy on that. So
yeah,
I admire that.
Yeah, back at you, man. Yeah, it's just a nice way to do things,
Mm-hmm.
Let it go and then move along, mentally. I don't like to sit there and like, oh, look at these likes and this comment and this comment. I don't like really get too into that,
Yeah,
just keep it moving,
I just saw, I haven't watched it yet, but a video on YouTube. It's called the dopamine detox, and it's basically how our phones and alerts and likes and shares, how that's almost like a fake dopamine in our system, or it releases dopamine.
Right, yeah, I've actually heard of this too.
And to get to that point, I think is very healthy. It's awesome to create, but I think for me, the paradox is you're creating things and people are inevitably going to like them or hate them. And it's like, they're almost interconnected. So it's like, oh, I create this, it's going to get likes and dislikes, but just completely separate that.
Yeah, if the only thing that would make you happy, it's your dream to be a certain way, I totally get it. You know what I mean? It's not for me to really say what's important to you. Just what's important to me is different, I think if I was younger too, and I had like larger ambitions for it all, and I was, it was more realistic. I was younger and things like that. I would totally maybe consider things like that then, if I was trying to sell something. But I'm just not. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
Create.
Other than music, what are some of your other artistic ventures? Like, what are some of, I guess, your other outlets for creativity?
So I make video. I have this video series I've been doing for years. The car videos. I make car videos for dealerships, and it's creative to me, even if it's like I understand it's basic, but it's something I've been working on for a long time, and it's turned into a creative project, like letting it evolve more and more. I want to get it to like I always say about the movie Total Recall, like all the
Arnold
advertising,
Schwarzenegger?
the advertising is perfect. You know what I mean? And it sounds like really, I don't know, like in those movies, the ads are always so funny and perfect.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like, I'm always trying to evolve it to like the most, like the best ad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's like giving you the information about the product. It's a product video basically. You know what I mean? And so that's for me creative. I work on these videos, like it's my job.
You're trying to put your own fingerprint on that, like you're making it.
A lot of people
real.
do it in all kinds of different ways. I see other people doing the same exact thing, and it's cool. But I just I keep working on it, and it's something I want to just evolve and try to get better and better at. And everybody that's on my team, we can work together, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's creative for me.
I seriously want you to know that I'm not asking you this. This is not a bait question, and I don't want you to say me. I want to know who are some of your, like, some people that inspire you video-wise. Like, what do you watch on YouTube or TV?
That's the thing. Like, I'm so wrapped up. I feel like the weirdest dude in the world sometimes, but it's just the truth. Like, you would think I would be so enamored with like movies. You know what I mean? I have this like video creative thing that I got so wrapped. I think it's just the repetition of doing it for work. I started to care about it. You know what I mean? And like it watching it evolve. But I'm not necessarily like a video buff or like watch movies and like have a bunch of favorite directors and things. Like, so You is a real one for me.
I'll tell you this. First of all, I lied. I never saw Total Recall. It's recommended to me all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm very similar in that aspect. I feel like I would like to kind of balance that consume to create scale a little better.
Yeah, I know I need to. Yeah.
But I feel that. Do you feel like you're more on I create or I consume?
Create 1,000%.
See, that's where I want to be, because then you're not allowing in the influence, or you're not trying to duplicate or be like someone else. You're making something that's organic because you're not corrupted by that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think there's probably ways to look at it, a few ways to look at it, but that is a true part of it. I think I'm just being myself. I just don't I don't have the attention span for movies. This sounds so funny. Like who always has really great videos to me is ASAP Rocky and Co. Like, I just feel like everything related to them, the videos, whoever's doing that stuff is really cool to me. I don't know.
Did you see the original Kid Laroi Stay music video?
Yeah. I just saw it the other night.
Oh my God.
Someone had it on the YouTube.
That's I feel like you just don't see music videos to that quality anymore. That it was cinematic. I feel like most of them now, it's like a dance party, or I don't know. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was really cool. I liked your cover of it also.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thanks. That was fun. It took a long time.
I bet. That's cool, man. It looked great.
That was so the timeline was, I kind of found out all those health issues were going down like mid to late July, and then we went to St. Louis for Liz's work, like for a work trip, and it was like I was on pins and needles while I was there, and it was just, my anxiety was like through the roof. And it was great that we were away at that time, because if I was home, I probably just would have been crippled. It's just with depression, but it was nice to be out there to kind of keep my mind off of it. But on the drive back, because we drove, it was like 12 or 13 hours. The whole time my mind's going, what can I fill my time with when I get back? Because I don't want to get into that slump where I just go to those darker places, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the idea of doing that video jumped into my head, and that took 30 days.
Wow. It turned out incredible. I mean, it looks so cool.
Thanks. Yeah. That was back to the kind of attention seeking. That was one that I was really hoping would catch some attention of, like, long shot Bieber or the Kid Leroy. I reached out to him. I reached out to the editor.
Oh, wow.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, I feel like that's too around the time where I thought I just need to make my stuff and just put it out, Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, man. My thing with that is it's a very slippery slope. And I think part of the reason I should mention this the way I am now is gotta be because I've been too ill on the other side of it when I was younger, you know what I mean? Like, really been up about stuff, and it's like, it's so funny to think about now because I'm not, but I think it probably has something to do with it too. I used to really, really worry about the band stuff are working out on a big way,
yeah,
and things like that. Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like you putting your health on a slippy slope a little bit. You know what I mean? It's important to care, obviously, when you want to, and different people want to take it to different places, and that's totally fine. All I'm saying is, you always want to be a little cautious. You don't, make yourself ill worrying about how everything you do is received. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just do your best. You know what I mean?
I really appreciate just having just surrounding myself with people like you, because I think that just your outlook is just awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It's not perfect all the time, you know what I mean? I get mad at stuff, and
I think you're real. I think that's what I think is so great about you, is that you're just like a real guy.
Thanks,
you're not like hiding anything. You're just Jeff. Like,
thanks, man. Yeah, I got a really cool family, and big support unit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, well, thanks, man. I think you're a great guy too.
No, I just appreciate, like, that day that was like right before I was supposed to get some kind of diagnosis. It was just really starting to crush me, and that's when I was working on the one music video, the lyric video.
Yeah.
And I was just like putting a lot of guilt on myself. I thought this needs to be done, and I thought mentally I'm not in a state to do this right now. So I thought I just have to be honest with Jeff, and I knew that you were somebody that I could be honest with and not worry that you're going to be like, yeah, he's just stalling. I wanted this out a week ago. You're just like,
no, man. hey, everybody, life happens all the time to everybody, and I don't want to be sitting there stressing you out while you're going through stuff. Why would I do that to you? You know what I mean?
And you just listened. I really appreciated that.
Oh yeah, man, call anytime, you know. Yeah, I'm happy it all worked out, man. I was worried sick.
Actually, another question I kind of wanted to ask you, kind of what your thoughts are spiritually, if that's something that you'd be willing to talk about.
Yeah, I think and everybody has this, that's why I'm comfortable talking with it. Everybody's got an answer for this, whether they are talking about it or not. But yeah, I just, I'm careful to call it anything, one thing, but say I believe that there's a purpose for this. That's the best way that I can put my take on it. And everybody's got different takes, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't see it that way. I didn't always see it that way. I just, I think, like some I say, I feel like I hated school so much that I feel like I can tell really hard when I'm in school. I hate it so bad,
Oh, that's really good.
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I feel about it. And so that's my 2 cents. But I totally like to keep it open. Everybody's got. It really means a lot to me. That doesn't mean I sit here and discredit anybody's point of view. Their point of view is so valid. You know what I mean? It's just as valid. I'm not sitting here telling you your thing's right or wrong or any of that. That's just what I think.
Yeah.
Generally, is that there's some kind of point. I mentioned my, losing my wife. And people were always wondering how, he looks upright and doing stuff and seem okay and stuff. And it's just just kind of I don't want to be the little kid that throws a fit on the way to kindergarten and then later doesn't want to leave kindergarten. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel life in general is why don't we just wait, see, before throwing a huge fit. You know what I mean? It can go anyway. It could be nothing, which is valid. Yeah. Or it could be amazing. I just don't want to throw a fit until I know. You know what I mean?
Damn, write that down.
It's filmed now. That's all right.
Man, this is good. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me too.
The lo-fi, I think that good call on that.
Oh, that's the go-to, man.
So, I mean, musically, you're at the point where you're just making music for yourself. Just.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically, and just having a good time with my friends, socializing, creating. I picture the whole thing myself, and things change all the time. Where they say Amazon was a bookstore.
Yeah.
Things change. You gain perspective as you go, but I think we talked about this a few times. I have no problem talking about it. I'd like to get to 30 songs. Film 30 songs just like we're doing, all singles, which I know is unconventional, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And eventually do the, we've talked about this a few times, film, make a great stage set, train up a large 10-person band.
We could design it the progression of the thumbnails or your headshot, your clips from the video,
the whole night. We could film it, have we could have cameras sliding through the room and the venue.
What if we use?
I'd like to promote it for a year or two.
Use a projector to project onto the background, so you could while you're playing the song, show the music video, but then we could cut different things in there.
Yeah, that sounds
to,
great.
Change it up.
And I think I picture in that talking also about the whole journey. Like I would like there'd be interview segments with you, interviews with the, you know, Corey, Andy, Steve, Harrison, Dan.
I know
Ben.
a video production company that could definitely hook
Yeah,
up
that's
with
what I'm
some of those.
saying. I'm saying we gotta do it if we're, you know, able to get that far along. That's kind of like the number I had in my head. I would, you know, that's, but just more so to do, and just hope that, like, you know, I think it'd be great if I got to 30 and it was all complete and there was like this awesome, like, you know, documentary about the whole thing, and then it could kind of be left behind and the songs are there and there's a documentary kind of explaining it all.
It's like a psychology behind editing. I'm sure of it, because I feel like it's an art, just like playing an instrument or.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Yeah, people, you know, it's like, even like that's what like the car videos are so like not every editor's dream, you know, but it's funny how you can get lost in even something like that, you know what I mean? It's completely like, you know, my day, you know, is getting lost editing those, but I love it, you know, in a creative way too, because I feel like, you know, you might not be able to tell, but to me everyone gets a little better.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's that growth.
Yeah, it's like every day I'm like, okay, tomorrow this is gonna sound better and look better, and you know what I mean?
I think along with that, it's you're talking about kind of keeping an open mind earlier. I think it's continually wanting to learn and be open. So I think that helps with growth. It goes hand in hand with growth, because when you end up at a point where you're like, okay, this is the way it is, we're not changing it, that's when growth stops. So you need to keep educating. And
yeah, definitely. 1000%. I'm not, I kind of get down in the dumps and stuff when I'm like, if I get off of my routine, you know what I mean, and I'm not growing, I always feel, even though it's hard, I always feel a little bit better trying to, you know, at least try. And you know, and that doesn't mean I do all the time, you know how that is. I'm sure that's the same, rings true for everyone, you know.
Do you think there's a correlation between, like, when you're down, you know, just feeling real shitty, and at the same time you're not creating anything, you're not working on any projects?
1000%. My whole life is built around that. And like, and it's like, I think, you know, there are a lot of people that way, you like to be productive, and
whether it's commercial work for clients or for yourself, it's just, I need to be stimulated.
Yeah, I don't care if it's like painting the trim, you know what I mean, or like whatever it would be, you know. It's like 1000% like to you know, get busy working on something, you know what I mean?
What do you do to get out of that spot?
This is a touchy topic, man. I don't like to leave it, you know what I mean? I don't like to. It's so funny, like nothing makes me happy. You mentioned Gary Vee earlier, and that kind of, I hate when people, like, no offense or anything, but like I like him too. I've liked him forever, but he's become so big. It's like the song on the radio that like everybody gets like, oh god, we get it, Gary Vee, you know. He's the coolest guy. I'm a big fan too, follow every day. But he said something about like his meeting is his glass of wine. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't mean I don't have a glass of wine. I have a glass of wine too sometimes, you know, but I'm just saying that, like, I definitely have that going on a little bit, where it's just like, it makes me happier genuinely than getting away, than just getting back to it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I get happier when I'm, you know, if I've had a day where it's like I've done everything in my day, you know, they say like master the day, you know, it's like, you know, hit everything you're supposed to, you know, you kind of like exercised and you practiced everything, wrote, did videos. This is just for me in my day, you know what I mean? I've even started reading again. Like I said, stop, watch, and read.
I just ordered a book from Amazon today.
Nice.
I haven't been reading for years, but I'm just like, hungry for it.
The place we just moved into, it was like, it's partially furnished, and they came with like this great, like very thorough, like legitimate collection of books. And I just feel like it's just right there. It appeared. I feel like I should, while I live there, try to do, all my homework and read a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to the thing, it's just like, I definitely think there is a correlation. Like, I never feel worse than when I've just been hanging out, like eating trash, drinking, being a third, It's like, you always feel your best when it's like you're in the thick of all this stuff and you're like, I got this thing accomplished.
Maybe it's because you feel purpose at that point. Like, while you're creating something, you're fulfilling
yeah, like that. I think the word for me would be like the growth, just that there's like, you're like expanding, you're doing good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like I did good, it was healthy of me. If you always feel better when you eat right and exercise, it's pretty universal. I think it applies to work and all kinds of things.
And I really like hearing I don't like the fact that you go through that, but it's almost like a relief that it's not just me. You know what I mean? Like,
that's funny to me that you said, like, you don't think, like, you don't like. It's funny. I feel like I'm fighting against it, like, where I'm just like it's what makes me happy, though. You know what I mean? So it's like it seems like I'm missing something, but it's like the thing that I'm supposedly missing, I don't like. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I get very bored by it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, like, I don't know what's so thrilling about some certain things, in life. Like, I don't like to hang around. I like to be as productive as I can. It's just more fun. It's genuinely more fun to me.
Yeah.
So I don't even feel like I miss anything coming out of it. Really, I don't do much. Is the point, But I don't feel funny about it either. Yeah. Like, I don't care at all. I am doing lots of things and having lots of fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for me, when I get in those ruts, I do like, at the time, I like dwelling there. I think I like having that, and it's almost like I'm holding on to that emotion, that feeling. But I think what gets me out of it is focusing on some other outlet. Like, I'll just come down and I'll start playing guitar. I haven't played guitar for like a year, but it's just kind of a change of pace and just another way to express.
Yeah, I saw and you would have to ask Steve to find it. I think he shared it one time. It was just like a cartoon, I think, of a guy like on his deathbed, and it was like he's like telling out like an awesome riff. You know what I mean? It's something along those lines. You'd have to ask Steve. Like, I thought that was really cool, though. I was just like, I feel like I totally relate to that. Like, I just like want to, till the wheels fall off, focus on my project or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just happier there.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think that kind of ties into just the mindset of retirement. Like, people live their lives thinking someday I'm going to be able to, call it quits at this damn job.
It's like a nightmare to me. I don't want to just sit there.
I mean, for me personally, I'll be the first to tell you, I feel blessed beyond belief. Like, I feel like I don't deserve the blessings that I have. But I don't even know where I was going with this.
Sure you do, man.
No, hold on. What was I saying right before that? Being blessed. Retirement. I feel that we're sold this lie that if you bust your ass all your life, you can get to this point where you can call it quits, and then you have your golden years. I just have this mindset, and that where I was going was, I feel that I'm blessed enough to live out retirement in my best years now. And it's like, I think that's the biggest blessing I don't know.
Yeah, like when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. You know, I definitely feel like that's true. You know, all the changes I've made myself are for that very reason, you know. Yeah, and just the freedom too, you know what I mean? Like, you're your own person, your own entity.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary sometimes.
What? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely scary a lot of the time, you know, but it's definitely not for everyone, you know. Gotta, what do they say, the ultimate confidence, you know, you gotta, you know, stay calm when things are going good, stay calm when things are going bad.
Well, it just loops right back around.
Yeah, that's a running theme.
Yeah, and I feel like this is something I don't want to put pressure on myself. I don't want to think. A lot of the times I prevent myself from doing things because I think, well, that's not going to last long term. I'm going to go on to something else after a couple weeks. So I usually just let that stop me from doing anything. But I think I'm really on to something with having, and that's why I call it the ADHD podcast. I just want to experience life to its fullest. And if right now life to its fullest is sitting here recording a podcast with you, that's what I want to do. If that's the same thing next week with someone else, that's what I want to do. If the following week I'm like, I want to record another music cover, I'm going to keep doing that. I mean,
super important, man. Yeah. Yeah, buddy of mine, Ben Steger, if he watches this, that was like, he produced Wrong Time. Okay. The second song, and yeah, old friends. I feel like that was real big in our friendship. We just, like, when something's tired, you know, we hung out for days in a row, and you record a song or something like that. But then it's just like, okay, well, we would take cameras around and just film things, and we just sit and make a video. Like, you know, I sent you the videos actually for the like a movie YouTube. Like a bunch of those old videos are edited by he and I. That's another thing too with the videos, you know, it started back then, really, you know, chopping up band stuff.
Okay.
You know, just always did it for fun and that's what I mean, though. I think it's important to move along, you know, if you don't want to force things, you know what I mean? If it's not, you know, you don't want to force yourself. You want to, in my opinion, you know, it's better when you're not doing it for any wrong reason, you know. In anything really, but creative stuff definitely.
Yeah, and it's not, I was just talking to someone else about this the other day who I consider an artist, how it's not something you can just turn off and on, and I think we put a lot of guilt on ourselves when we can't turn that artistic switch on. It's just, you think, well, I can do this, I know I can, but why can't I do this right now? And then the clients will put pressure, and it's just, it's tough. But
yeah, I can't imagine.
But it's that, and I think I'm a procrastinator. I know I'm a procrastinator, but I've almost tried to justify my procrastination in saying, well, if the night before a project is due, then that's when it's like, I know I have this hard deadline. Sometimes I feel like that's when I put in my best work.
Yeah, you go into that mad place, right? Like, yeah, it's like one light's on, and you're there at the desk.
That's a tough spot to be in. That's like living on the edge.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I totally know what you mean, and I don't disagree at all with or, you know, I can relate. Some of the best stuff comes out of that, you know, like a manic editing session that goes all night.
Yeah,
you know, it can be the best work you ever do, and you know, you do it kind of under the gun. But it's like, yeah, sometimes being under the pressure makes it a little bit better, you know, anyway, in the end. Yeah, I'm a big believer in that stuff. I don't like that's part of the not pressing anything ever, you know what I mean? Like, I've been like, people like the other guys, you know, we've been doing this stuff with, you know, I like the pictures of myself, for example. I'm like, Andy just picks those. I don't like go through 20 of them and say like, okay, this one, we don't do that. Like, he picks it and we roll. Like with mixing and things like that, I've been doing a thing with anyone I work with where, give me your first rough mix, I'll give you notes one time. After that, I just like, everybody should be able to breathe. I don't want to, everybody's got to be creative, in their own way, and have some reins on the situation for it to feel fulfilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then good work isn't going to come out of micromanaging things. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's better just let everything breathe. In my opinion, that's how I like to do it. It's definitely for that reason.
Yeah.
I
hate the word organic, but it is. I think that makes it the most organic.
Yeah, I would sit. If I had pictured a song being out at a certain time, and you were like 4 months behind, I would not say a word. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, what is me saying a word gonna do to make the video better? And you know what I mean? I would just as soon record something else and have it ready and double up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then press an issue, and create that. I'm micromanaging. I'm telling you how to do what you do way better than me.
Yeah.
It seems kind of funny, just like, I don't know, you know about that. I don't really know about that. And I want everyone to have a good time too,
Right.
So.
No, it's been awesome.
I can't force things.
I feel really blessed to be part of this. I feel like I comment that on every video, but I really do. It just feel great to be in the company of the team that you put together.
Hey man, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy you feel that way. I can't believe that you would even say that. To me, I'm just like trying to have a good time, put some songs out. I don't think like so much of myself or anything, and so someone as talented as you being on board is awesome to me, and interested. Like that's a dreamy setup for me. You know what I mean? Because I just happy you like working on it too.
Well, I also think if I wasn't doing that, I'd either be down in one of those low spots, or I'd be making something that, I don't know, wouldn't have as much meaning. So it's fulfilling to do that.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited about it. My head wanders off to the 2-hour special that just tells the whole story.
Yeah.
Interviews with you, interview Andy.
That would be a
show
good one
him
for
doing artwork.
That's a good one for the grandkids to watch.
Yeah, and it's this whole thing actually. Someone was saying about the word legacy. It's like not at all to like blow up and be some musical star. It's more for that, where it's just like I think it would be cool to me to have, like, this isn't the thing I like do the most, like write and play, and here's this. It's 30 songs is not a big discography, you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. Like, bands have way more albums than that, but for me, that's the number in my head. I'd like to do 30 and then wrap it up in like a cool like live show / documentary where all 30 songs are played in the order of their release throughout the whole night, and they're all filmed, and it's kind of cuts back and forth with the interviews and the story and the studio footage and the videos themselves.
Would you ever consider a mashup of all the songs?
Yeah.
That was something, because when you sent me the picture, like how the picture evolves and like rotates through, I thought that'd be really sweet if you could somehow do like 5 seconds, like once you're at 30 songs, I don't know if it would be 5 or 10 seconds, whatever, of each song, and like somehow make it flow and work.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, there's got to have that one that's just a little bit of every song at the end. Maybe that's the 30th track.
Oh, maybe like Fall Out Boy. Was it What a Catch? What a Catch, Donnie?
I don't remember. I think I remember of this maybe.
They had a bunch of like Brendan Urie sang on it. The guy from Ocean City soundtrack. There were like, I think 6 or 7 guys who sang Fall Out Boy songs, like a couple lines at the end of the song, and it was just, it was so good.
That's cool.
It was, yeah.
One that comes to my mind is, The Morning Light.
Yeah.
They had a really cool, I think it was either the EP or the album, I can't remember, but it had like a track that called upon everything else that had been on the album at the end, and it flowed together. That was one of my favorite ones. It all came together like really nice. And yeah, they have a similar thing though. Yeah,
that's
got to do that someday.
Yeah, it's like a nice, it's like a conclusion. Like it makes it full circle. That's it.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, a lot of ways we could tie it all up in the end. I'm excited to see the headshots evolve, and I'll look like way different at the end of probably what would be about 10 years.
Well, so we're at 5 now?
Yeah, it's been about, I would say I try to do it with the season, so you figure 4 a year.
Okay. Wow. So you get to 30 songs. You have this show, this performance.
Really, really would want to like build a stage, promote for a year.
So what's next?
Song-wise?
Like after
that's
have a performance.
I would say putting out I think it would be cool like to do I'm picturing maybe 2 hours, like a movie long, and I think it would be really cool to figure out how to get it available, like obviously make it available on things like YouTube and things like that, but like just the idea would be preserving it, so something like Prime Video, or I don't want to say Netflix, but just a streaming service that probably be around.
I think Prime is one of the easiest to submit to. Netflix actually has camera specs, like they have an allowed list of cameras.
Yeah, I don't even care like if it's on, but anything you can do to preserve it I think would be getting
like
it
time
out.
Capsule.
Yeah, anything to get it out on the internet preserved, so that the story could be, the songs would be available and the story could be told.
We're the same person. I feel like I do the same thing with YouTube. I never delete anything. I keep all of my videos, like roughs, just unlisted, and I think someday somebody could go in and just
it's like a time capsule kind of. Yeah, that's how I think of the whole thing. I think it'd be cool if we figure about 10 years or so roughly, hit the 30 songs, promote a show for a year.
Dude, we'll be almost 50. How old are you?
I'm 30, about to be 36.
Okay, I just turned 38. Yeah, we're gonna be.
But I figure that's kind of another reason about like what after that. I'm like, let's just see how I'm feeling right then,
Yeah.
We're gonna be pretty, I don't know. Maybe put some out, but maybe not so routinely or something after that, and it'd be about, that's really the catalog and the story of it all, and and that's my thing with all this is if nothing ever came of it and no one ever liked it, I don't think that we're gonna be at all looking at it like we're upset that we didn't do it.
No,
it would still be one of the most fun things and things we were proud of, and you know what I mean. And myself at least, and I'd be like feeling like, wow, that's totally fine if like just like my family and friends know about it and watch it after I pass, That sounds awesome. I'd rather have that than not do the stuff because the whole world doesn't know about it and care about it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, so what if it's just some people who have a good time,
That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, I'm excited all the possibilities there. My brain gets turning on that. I think that could be so fun. Like, yeah, all the stuff you could do on the backdrop with screen behind it, you know, with the videos played in.
Yeah.
And like film the hell out of it. Interview everything.
I love being a part of it from the beginning. Like, that you will send me a super rough draft that I admire that in you, because a lot of people, their first draft is like, I'm not showing this to anyone.
Oh no,
like,
man!
I love it. I love to see that growth.
That's like I said, you know, it's like one thing I'm like figuring out about myself is like I'm pretty like raised by like kind of like great family, everybody, but like kind of like some chill people, like hippies and stuff. And you know, we were just this weekend like in a shed, a bunch of people, you know, hanging out in a shed playing guitars, and I grew up like that, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean, it's just have a good time. You sound good, you sound bad.
Now, I mean, as far as your like writing process, lyrically and musically, do you have any kind of process, or?
Yeah, I do. I have like a routine I do, just for music in general, you know. It's like the E kit, then to the bass, then to the acoustic, and then I play covers out just sometimes too. So I'll run through some covers, then switch over to writing the whatever new song on the guitar that I'm writing on the guitar, work on that for a while, then to lyrics and put down just one lyric that night, then move over to the piano, and whatever song I'm writing on the piano takes place last, and then usually try to I just now added, like I mentioned, the reading, so I've been reading right after all that.
So when you first have an idea for a song, does it come to you like lyrically? Do you think of a line and think, I'm going to develop this into a song? Or is it like a melody?
I think it usually starts for me with chords on an instrument. You know, moving some chords around on an instrument. And like in my phone, like, you know, I always have different songs in, you know, in voice memo. You know, you can replace the audio and leave the name the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll always like whatever instrument I'm on, listen to it, and then work on it for a while, and then I'll replace the audio from where I'm at that night. You know what I mean? And leave the title the same in the voice memo, so the song just gets a little bit better and better in that file as you go, night by night, you know. And and then like I said, even the lyrics, like I try not to push until I'm red in the face, you know. I just try to put down one lyric per night.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you have a lot of different ones to choose from, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, you know, just like a little practice routine. Yeah, I can't say that I'm like they just come to me, you know. I sit and have a routine where but I don't push all day. All the different things, you know. I spend maybe 20 minutes in each stage, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Drum for 20 minutes, you know, bass, and move down the line, and it just over time builds. No, I go straight for just home demos. I just go straight into GarageBand on my phone. You know what I mean? Because you can do tracks on tracks, and it's a great placeholder, you know. Mm-hmm. A lot of the MIDI that's in some of the songs was programmed in GarageBand on my phone, and then transferred into opened up in like Logic, and then, you know, the sounds were changed with the MIDI on even Breakaway, the whole bass on Boundaries and Breakaway, programmed on my phone.
And I'm sure that helps too in the aspect of you're not limited to, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to work on writing right now. Since you have your phone with you almost all the time, it's like, hey, I have this idea, I'm going to get this down, and then you're saving that.
Yeah, and just come back to it. I'm very much like a chip away at it kind of person.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, like I don't like to go until I'm like, I got to finish this thing, you know. It's just like you touch on it, come back to it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have all the ideas that first night. Maybe I don't have it the fourth night.
Right.
You know what I mean? But eventually, you know, okay, let me, I like that the best. We'll stick with that. And then once you have it, you know, that's just me. That's my little process.
I like it.
Hey, thanks, man.
So I just want to thank Jeff for being on today. I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thank you. Great time.
Yeah, good.
Oh, that was really fun, man. I hope I did all right.
Yeah, these are the conversations that I always sit down and have, but never, like, why not record them?
Yeah, that's super true, man. I mean, it's like